With the war in the Middle East and AI rattling the markets recently, it's time for your Monday Markets Outlook. Aaron Ibbotson from Forsyth Barr joins us this morning. This is thanks to our partners, Forsyth Barr. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
Good to see you. So, a war in the Middle East, dumb question to ask who's going to win, because we kind of know, this is a one-way street. But how long does it go on for? And is that the key to the oil price question?
Yeah, I think how long it goes on for is absolutely one of the keys. But the other thing is, if you look at what's really rattling the oil market, if you go into the specifics, it's that Iran is basically firing on its neighbors, and that's causing, their production to reduce. They've more or less, not officially, but stopped ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. So this is driving the short-term pressure, and I think that's what caught the market a little bit off guard, which is Iran's willingness to basically fire on the other Gulf states. So there's two ways. Either they stop firing because they run out of missiles, or there's some more severe military sort of basically intervention. But I think that's exactly the right thing to think about. How long does it last? And even today, we read a lot of the headline prices of oil. Is it going to go to $100? Probably, maybe. But if you look further out, 6, 12 months, the oil price has gone up a little bit, but not anything near as much as it has near term. So the market currently definitely thinks that this is going to not cause trouble for more than maybe 6 or 12 months.
It's not going to drag on. Because the difference here is you haven't got a nuclear... everyone talks about them preparing for a nuclear weapon, but they don't have one, not like the Russians, which is the big, that separates the men from the boys in terms of how long things can kick on for, right?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. All right. What about AI? We know that they've been disrupting, AI has been disrupting a lot of stocks, software stocks, stuff like that. What are you thinking in this space? What do we need investors to know?
Well, it's a very fast evolving space. So I think, you've got two massive things that sort of tugging in two different ways. So one, you have these huge investments in AI infrastructure that's happening across the world. It's helping semiconductor stocks, it's helping some of the construction stocks, and particularly in the US, companies making power stations, etc. So you have this huge construction boom, and some people are, is it going to last? Is it not going to last? How long is it going to last? But then on the other side, as you highlight, you have this enormous leap of capabilities that I think we all feel that these large language models are making. So people are worried about software, but what should investors do? The honest answer from my perspective and our perspective is pretty boring. You should most of the time, you should do nothing, but you should stay diversified, on a lot of different things, different type of businesses, but also different types of assets. And you should stay invested. It's been proven again and again, over the last 200 years. That staying invested, we've gone through world wars, we've gone through huge technology shifts before, we've had 2 pandemics and one quite recent, and the market just powers through it if you wait it out. So that would be my suggestion.
Aaron, I'm always listening to your suggestions. Tell me what you're watching the news the same as the rest of us with what's going on in the Middle East. We've still got Ukraine kicking on and dragging on to its 4th year. Inflation's starting to come under control here. This will put a bit of pressure on that. Generally, like global outlook-wise, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, which I'm not sure it's warranted, but I am. So I think with AI that you mentioned, the base case here is this is a productivity tool now. So it increases human productivity, and that's amazing. So I think more good things than bad things are going to come out of that. And if you look at these wars that are going on, and maybe particularly in the Middle East, there's an undercurrent which is not getting as much attention, I think, of Israel getting along a lot better with a lot of its neighbors outside of Iran. If you see the Gulf states, and the Gulf states has been unusually firm in their reaction towards Iran, understandably, since Iran has been firing on them. So if you take a slightly longer term view, I think there's a lot of things potentially moving in the right direction.
Also, just on that positive buzz, Trump and Venezuela, and now with Iran, if you have more moderate leaders and governments in charge of those countries, you could see oil infrastructure being fixed, supply increasing, so we have more oil, it gets cheaper long term.
Well, I think that we look a lot at the sort of what I call the nominal, but the oil price, you know, $80, $90, $100. You know, I've been doing markets for over 20 years, and the price is basically similar to what it was 20 years ago. And if you think what inflation has done over those periods, oil is very cheap today. And, you know, 20 years ago, it could really derail an economy if oil prices went up a lot. That's no longer the case for most economies. You know, energy has become such a small part, particularly, you know, fuel of GDP or of an economy. So, you know, we read $100 and, you know, people like me have been around for a while. That sounds like a big number, but, you know, that's equal to $40 like 30 years ago or something, or 50. So it sounds worse than it is.
Interesting. Interesting. Aaron, always lovely to talk to you. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Aaron Ibbotson at Forsyth Barr.